This video is brought to you by Speechify, the #1 text-to-speech reader. Get $60 off your Speechify membership when you sign up. Use the link in the description. What's up, y'all? This is AGTV. Now, there's an interview that Taxstone did with Complex. The interview took place before the trial started, so it was just released on the 5th of April, so that would be from the time of recording yesterday. And he does point out a few things. I'm not gonna give you my opinion. I'm just gonna report. I'm gonna give you some highlights that I think I want people to take away from. He does take a couple shots of obviously Troy, Joe Budden, and Nore. So yeah, let me know what y'all think. I'm not gonna sit here and read the whole interview. I'll just give you some excerpts from it. If you want to read the whole interview, just the link is in the description.
Why do you think certain people shouldn't speak? Because they're not educated enough to speak on the topics. No, not even that. They're not educated on certain things. Let me give Nore for instance. Nore's Drink Champs is a legendary podcast. I still like it. I have my little issues with Nore, but I don't hold on to shit too long like other people do. But I still enjoy his podcast because I like hip hop and I like rap legends. But I don't like when a person tries to act like they're intelligent and they know what they're doing all the time, and somebody that tries to act like they're supportive of the culture. Like if I was to interview Kanye West, once I seen that Kanye was saying everything that would destroy him, I would have never put it out. Yes, it would have helped my numbers. Everybody wants to see people say the most controversial things, but you gotta understand the impact of certain things being said. And I felt like that was like a real help to disrupt Kanye. You didn't help him by putting that out. If you listened to what he said, you knew the words he was saying. We're in a cultural setting where we know that there's certain things that are highly sensitive. Of Nore, so I'm sure you heard he mentioned your name on Joe Budden's podcast. He alleged something about intellectual property and that he's getting paid on YouTube and you went under your deal with Combat Jack. Yeah, I heard about it. I didn't really address it because that shit is not even true. Like if you really do your due diligence to look at the Tax Season podcast, I didn't post videos on YouTube, and that was intentional because I wasn't getting paid from it. So if you really see my podcast, it's only clips of them. It's only one full interview of Tax Season ever on video. And that's the Meek Mill interview I did in Atlanta. So that's false because I didn't even post videos on YouTube of my podcast. I actually have all of my videos on my hard drive because I knew that that was a different form of revenue that I could get. I actually introduced Nore to a lot of those ads and he got in touch with them through me. So a lot of the things he says is out of frustration. You know how somebody get caught doing something wrong? Then they don't know how to just say, yo, I'm sorry I did something wrong. So now they gotta lash out cause the other person is mad at what they did. And they got a right to. So it's like with him, he's dealing with an ego. It's a lot of 50-year-olds that still got 17-year-old mentalities. And he's one of them. He got like the brain of an infant. I'm happy that he has his IP and he got all his business straight because that's what this is about. It's about feeding your family and pushing the culture forward. But it becomes a clown show when you see stuff like, oh, I'm happy that all the rappers didn't succeed. It's like, wow, why are you happy that somebody didn't succeed? Like, why would that be a part of your agenda? This is your agenda and happiness. Like when you go to sleep at night, you speak to God or whoever you speak to and say, yo, I want happiness. I want help from my family, wealth, and I want to make sure that nobody else survives in this genre. That just seems like one of the weirdest parts to be happy for. That's what contracts are for. See, Nore doesn't like Combat Jack because he said Combat Jack jerked him or something like that. But he didn't jerk him. He gave him a standard contract like most people get when they are new artists. So, Combat was an entertainment attorney. So he always says stuff about the deal. But no, what happened was you were a kid when you signed a record deal. You can hardly read things cause you read with your finger. We see it right on your show. So you signed a bad deal back then, or a deal you thought you maybe should have gotten more from, and now you don't like the guy. But it's like, yo, it's cool that you finally figured it out. It took you about 30 more years. I didn't sign anything bad. Everybody paid me like I wasn't a podcaster for free. I came from the streets, and I came straight into a genre where I was like, I'm going to change my life forever. I knew I had a voice. Where are you with Joe Budden? What have you thought about his rise? And Rory and Mal leaving? I think Rory and Mal finally figured out that Joe was a master manipulator. They were suffering from Stockholm Syndrome, and Joe manipulates everybody around him. Even them dudes sitting with him now are being manipulated. But you gotta understand, some people are all right with manipulation as long as they get something out of it. So I think them dudes know that. But I think they're just cool with the situation. Sometimes people don't got nothing going on in their life. They need to be a part of something. I'm not one of those people. I always tell people if everybody jump on that shit, it's gonna sink. So I'm always the person that's like, I'm gonna stay with the land. When y'all get over there, y'all write me and tell me what happened. I don't jump on ships. I'm like you on podcasts and talk about nothing. And that's an issue. If you have nothing going on, why do you want to be on a podcast? It's fools like the people who interview Troy Avenue. They interview him cause they know he's gonna talk about me. He has nothing going on. This dude gets on there and puts a mirror up and describes what he has on. He's gonna tell you, I'm the cutest guy. I'm the realest guy. I'm the strongest guy. I'm so loyal. I'm so this. He gives his job resume every podcast and then talks about me. I don't even understand what's going on no more. And it's sad that people are so easily manipulated by the poppycock. Because you know, a lie told 1,000 times becomes the truth. But it only becomes the truth to whoever want to believe it. So it's like the podcast game when I see what was going on. Like with Nore, he was on my podcast. And then for maybe 2-3 months straight, we was on the phone every day, 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning, 2 in the morning, putting together the ideas for Drink Champs, talking to the lawyers, everything, getting things done for him. So for you to put somebody on your podcast, that's insinuating that I killed somebody so they could be free from the crimes that they were arrested for. That's fucked up. I would never do nothing like that. I would never give nobody a platform to make an accusation like that. I was thrown for a loop. At first, just sum it up to Nore's looking for numbers. He don't care. Like, he'll sacrifice anything. That's why when what happened with Kanye, there was no shock. How are you feeling about everything with your trial? When does it start? Jury selection starts next week. I feel strong about the outcome. I feel like when people really see the evidence and all the things that people did in the case to try to thwart their attention towards me. But, you know, it doesn't even make sense. And in certain contexts, like you've never seen somebody get into a serious incident of this effect and lose every single one of their friends after. Why did every single friend that you came with that night not deal with you no more? Why do you keep trying to spin the narrative that they didn't help you and that was the reason that they are not your friends anymore? Half the people that didn't help you was not even in the room. So how could they help you? If you're on the outside of the room and you hear a gunshot, you don't know who's shooting. So you run. Isn't that the procedure when a gun is going off? So when you try to make the narrative that, oh, this is why this, that, and the third, it's just so silly. None of it makes sense. If even his own family will tell you, the family of the deceased, that he didn't want to bail the dude out of jail. And then he gets out of jail. He wasn't even hanging with him. But you're going off the narrative that this was your best friend. It does not make sense. None of it makes sense. Why would every one of your friends stop dealing with you directly after an incident of that effect? Why? You can't explain that. And it's like everybody would stick together at that tragic moment. Why did all your friends stop dealing with you? It doesn't make sense. You're trying to hide something. The issue here is that you got the government using a witness for the sake of just winning the case. When you are able to just sign a cooperation agreement and say, yo, I'm gonna tell you this. Whatever y'all want to hear to fit y'all narrative so I could be free from the crime. You gotta understand something. My DNA is on the gun. Troy's DNA is on the gun. The deceased's DNA is on the gun. Then other unidentified DNA is on the gun. So when this guy says stuff like, oh, his DNA is on the gun, it's like, this guy's crazy right here. Like yours is too. You also got caught with it, and you also got caught with 2 other weapons and you're on camera shooting. But I'm in jail. So what is your plan when you get out? I'm gonna be me. Are you going to get back into podcasting? I'm not sure yet. I'm now depressed. And she said, you're not depressed, that you threw your life away. I said, I threw my life away. I'm alive. And she said, oh, but you lost everything. I said, I lost everything. My life is everything. I'm alive. I'm alive. You gotta understand something. If you listen to Shanju McFadden, the activist, this guy is like a nutcase activist in Brooklyn. This dude said on Clubhouse that they came to Irving Plaza because somebody called him and told him I was there and they wasn't ducking no wreck because they them dudes in New York. But then you got this dude on the other podcast going around talking about how I came there to kill him. Like that don't make sense. Your friend says that y'all got the call that I was there. I was there an hour before y'all got there with an artist who actually was on the bill. It doesn't make sense to the narrative. And it's sad that people are able to get into deep trouble that they get in and then they could get off the trouble just to fit the narrative. Was that how you felt? Yeah. Like does Garth Brooks go through this? Like are there some critics out there that Garth Brooks got hits on or something out there? So what if I said your music was whack 100 times? I say people's music is good 100 times. So why can't I say your music is whack 100 times without getting busted upside my head? It don't make sense. It started with the writer from Noisy, Drew Millard. Drew Millard wrote an article about New York City, the album, Troy's album. He said that it was horrible and the New York engine was pushing Troy after making it seem like the streets fucking with him. There is a pattern of this dude beating up people who don't like his music. Then you got the time when he remixed I Love Mac Hunn's Tuesday. A fan tweeted him and said, yo, Troy Ave just remixed your song. I Love Mac Hunn said, no thank you. He responds back, oh yo, you know me from somewhere. I Love Mac Hunn said, oh, no thank you. And I think 3 weeks later when he performed it at Sobs, the dude is beating him up off the stage. He's dragging him off stage at SOBs. The same dude that they alleging me of killing. Then maybe 2 weeks before the incident happened with me, the same dude got arrested in the nightclub for trying to hit the rapper Manilow Rose with a gun. And then they wrestled him to the floor and security held him there and he had a gun and a girl got shot and that's what he was in jail for. And then it's how the hell you gonna make this narrative that y'all are this humble group from New York that's just out here trying to push y'all's music? And I was like the hater who was trying to destroy y'all. I don't know the narrative they're trying to paint, but it's no. The narrative is that you don't like nobody to say anything about your music, and if they do, you coming after their ass, period. Harvin did everything to that dude. Harvin was the dude that reached out to me yo, fall back, man. We just trying to put on for the city. And I'm yo, bro, no problem. 100 times I have said, yo, I'm sorry. I'll stop. Then this dude starts going back and again or telling somebody to do something to me in the street. So it was nah, I'm gonna keep joking on your music because I think it's whack and I'm gonna have fun doing it.